Let me tell you why you're here.
I've seen things.
Oh my god.
Whoa, yeah! You don't stop and look around once in a while, you could miss it.
Guaranteed to jack you up.
What is up, guys? It is LamarStaysWeird. I hope you guys are having a great day and having some great vibes. We're here for the I've Seen Things podcast, and today we're going to be talking about all the Scream movies.
Yeah, guys, we're on the podcast. This is gonna be my first host. It's gonna be my friend John. We met working at a movie theater together, Cinemark down on City Walk at Orlando, Florida, pre-COVID, right? Yeah,
Yeah, definitely.
right. Like just for like two months or so.
Yeah, I think it was like 2 or 3 months, and then we all got sent home.
We're doing the Scream franchise. I definitely wanted to talk about this with someone, and my friend John volunteered, and he chose this series. Every now and then, I'm going to have some hosts, and we're going to talk about some movies, and I'm going to let them kind of pick what movies they want to talk about, other than me just bringing people on for random movies they may or may not want to discuss. So, John picked Scream. Now, there are 6 movies to cover, and Jesus, it's going to take forever, and you guys already see how long it takes for me to talk about a movie, so I need somebody to help me through all of that. So we're going to be going through these relatively quick. I'm going to assume a lot of people already know these movies, and if anybody is watching these, there's a good chance you've already seen the movies. Everyone knows one, so we're going to kind of breeze through that one a little bit, even though it is one of the better ones. We're definitely going to talk about some stuff, but we're going to split this into 2 episodes. We're going to do 1 through 3, and then we're going to do 4 through 6. Do you want to lead the way into Scream 1, 96?
I haven't seen the movie. No, just kidding. I mean, yeah, it's a good movie. I mean, there's pretty much the same about it. It's really good. I think it's my top 5 like favorite slashers. It's a great movie.
It's definitely one of the oldest horror movies I can remember watching, along with like Bride of Chucky, Child's Play, and Nightmare on Elm Street. I think those are my first exposure to horror as a child.
I actually didn't really get into horror till like in college, or no, late high school, because I was always too scared to watch horror movies. And then I watched Halloween, and I got really into like slasher movies. And then I kind of stumbled upon well, I didn't stumble upon, but then I watched like Predator, Alien, Nightmare on Elm Street, and then I kind of went to Scream. And I remember really liking Scream since Halloween is my favorite slasher, and it was one I started with. I kind of appreciated how like it took like the tropes and stuff like that, and really I kind of like made something new out of it. And it was really exciting because at that point I had seen a slasher movie that kind of had like a mystery element to it, and I kind of really liked that. And also the opening scene for this is like a banger. It's probably like my top 10 like favorite opening scenes out of like any movie. So it's like it perfectly sets up the tone and like what you're getting into for like even this whole series. It does like just does a great job.
Yeah, it's like I love how they pretty much made it like quite a staple to have like a cold opening in a horror movie. And I love that so much.
Yeah.
And I was into Drew Barrymore like when I was younger, like Charlie's Angels, fucking what else? What else did I see her in that I thought she was really cute?
E.T. She's an E.T. She's an E.T. She was the little girl in E.T.
No, she was a cute kid, but yeah, no. What do you call? I mean, it helps that she's older than me, but it doesn't help that she's forever a child in that movie. So I'm not gonna go there. But fuck, what was it? It was an Adam Sandler movie, The Wedding Singer. I thought she was super fucking cute.
Oh,
in The
yeah,
Wedding
yeah.
Singer. So I was like, dude, I was into Drew. Then this fucking movie happens. I'm like, yeah, Drew Barrymore, sick. And then she just gets killed in the beginning. What the fuck? It's like, dude, what the hell?
love that they did that. I have so much respect for them just doing that.
Yeah, especially because I mean, this was in the '90s, and of course she was like big. I mean, she was a fucking child star. So going from like that and then '90s where you know she's still pretty big and like quite the celebrity, and I don't know if it's like superstar at that time, because of course I was a kid, like what do I know? And her deciding to just do this was big brain as hell, and I'm so glad she kind of could convince Wes like, hey, yeah, this is a good idea. Just kill me in the beginning. Nobody will see it coming. And it's like she was right. She was on some shit. And I kind of wish she got way more credit for it. I feel like not a whole lot of people, unless you're super into the movies and you do the research and realize that was her idea.
I actually didn't know that was her idea. I thought that was just like they casted her as the person who dies at the beginning just so they could like market that she was in the movie.
See, you see what I mean? It's like
Yeah,
not too many people
that's what I
know.
thought.
It's insane. Yeah, she was originally cast as Sydney, but I can't remember every reason why she kind of want to step away from that. But yeah, she decided she was like, hey, like, what if we really throw it for a loop? Because, you know, going with the whole meta aspect, she knew she was onto something that was very different. I was like, hey, why don't we like up the ante a bit and like, yeah, just kill me in the beginning and just get somebody else. And
Yeah.
fucking Wes was like, yo, that is an amazing idea. Yeah, sure. And then that's how we got Nev Campbell in there as well. I am gonna do this thing where we're talking about the movies. I know some people care about the scores. I kind of tend to look at scores, and sometimes they may sway my opinion. I know IMDb, Rotten Tomatoes are like the main places people look at for ratings. Scream 1 is sitting at a 7.4 on IMDb, and on Rotten Tomatoes, critic score 76, audience score 81. Now, I think that is very much on track, and I would say a pretty accurate representation.
I'm surprised the IMDb one is so low. I would think that one would be like a 9 or something like that.
Honestly, I was expecting very minimum like an 8.
Definitely. Because even like, I don't know, I feel like this movie is just so consumable, even if you don't really like horror movies, because it's also like funny. Like, it's kind of has like a nice like dark comedy to it, and it's something Wes Craven is kind of good at with like Nightmare on Elm Street and stuff like that. So I kind of like, I feel like people, even if they didn't like horror movies, could just find this movie funny.
Dude, literally. And this is another thing, and I love the Scream movies, and I love part 1 so much. I literally rewatch it like every year. I feel like I watch it every couple of months. And it's kind of a comfort movie for me. And because I remember it as being funny. That is the main thing for me, is I remember it being funny. And then I watch it, and then we have the cold opening and the kills and the ending scene, like where Stu, like Billy and Stu, they're taunting Sydney. These guys raped and murdered your mom and then teasing you on the year anniversary when they're about to kill you and frame everything on your dad. If you just tell somebody that story, that is so fucking heavy.
Yeah.
And like that's a lot to handle. But I always forget how dark the movie actually is, and that it's serious. It's not just, oh yeah, it's a horror comedy. No, I fucking forget. And I think part of the blame is also because of Scary Movie.
Yeah.
Because of how identical those fucking movies are to each other. Dude, I swear I forget shit all the time or what, and I just keep mixing them together. But man, I'm always reminded, and I kind of like I just forget.
It also strikes like a nice balance between like being serious and also like providing like meta commentary on like horror, which makes it funny too. And I feel like that's nothing like no other Scream movie has attempted to do it, but has not succeeded like this one at all.
I feel like I can agree with you. I want to say maybe like 80, 70%, because I feel like 4, and this is definitely jumping the gun. I feel like 4 is the closest to come to it. But of course, we'll cover that when we get to it. I think 4 is even more relatable nowadays.
Definitely.
You know, like with everything that they had going on in that movie. I think give it a good bit more time. 4 can almost be held in the same caliber light as 1.
Yeah, I agree.
But that's just my personal opinion.
I think definitely in terms of like being meta and also being serious is also, I think 4, could definitely definitely up there.
They definitely returned the formula on that one, because obviously, as we're about to talk about with 2 and 3, the tones definitely shift. What points did you have in this movie that you wanted to talk about?
How much character the characters have, or how much personality they have. Like not all of them are like these like deep complex characters, but they all have their own like separate personality, and like
they're not shallow.
Yeah, not at all. I just think the characterization is just so fucking good in this. I think the only one that gets a character is Sydney, which I like because she's the main character. But everyone else at least has like their own personality to distinguish them between the others, which is something that also a lot of the other movies kind of don't do.
Yeah. By far, Sydney is the best final girl, in my opinion. I think she is the pinnacle final girl. Not perfect, but damn near it. But she has an incredible arc through each movie, and Wes has done a great job consistently making sure this character is just going like constantly evolving in each one. And I admire that a lot. It's not like oh, here's Sydney, she goes through all this stuff, next one, oh yeah, she's complete badass all the way and that's all she ever is. There's no more growth or anything. It's like, yeah, no, she's a strong woman. Like, no, there's definitely layers to her each and every step, and I love that so much. And I feel like that is a really good female representation right there. And I've said it before, I'll say it again. I think the best representation for females ever in any genre, it's always sci-fi and horror that females get treated like the best, in my opinion. Like, I think there's way more like role models right there and like strong female characters that are like well written and developed.
Definitely. I definitely see that. What I was gonna say, kind of piggybacking off what you were saying about how like her character is consistent, like when it comes to each movie. I think she's the only character that's consistent between each movie. I feel like each movie, at least with like, especially Gale and Dewey, you would think like the other movies ended completely differently for how they end up in the next one. But with Sydney, everything is like consistent. It makes like perfect sense that like she ends up from here to here. I'll kind of touch on it when we go to 3, but I really like how they show her in Scream 3.
Yeah, I that was actually one of my notes and what I was thinking too. I was like, yeah, like her going from here to 3, I was like, yeah, that makes so much sense. That's a lot of growth right there. I really like that.
Absolutely.
One thing I definitely got to talk on, like, since we're talking about characters, Gale. I fucking hate Gale, dude. I hate Gale in like almost every movie. I cannot stand Gale. Like, that's probably my least favorite character in each movie. And she does a great job. Courtney Cox does a great job, but fuck, I cannot stand her. I hate her so much. I don't get what Dewey sees in her.
No, I get it. I mean, like, I get why you don't like her. I think, like, she has a charm to it, but we'll kind of talk about it in later movies, but I have a kind of opinion that develops with her. But it's not really Courtney Cox's fault at all. It's how, like, she's written in each movie. I'll get to it once we get to the movies that applies to. But I think in this movie, she has, like, that nice asshole charm, but when she comes around in the end, you're like, oh, yeah, you know, like, maybe she's not that bad. You know, like, that's kind of, like, how I'd want it to be. And I also think when you get that relationship with Dewey, it kind of does bring out a different side to her where you're like, oh, well, okay, well, maybe she's not a complete asshole. So I like how this movie handles her.
It's like, yeah, I could see that. There was like another thing, because, all right, so the scene where she's in the bathroom and like those girls are talking shit about her. And so they walk out and she's in the bathroom fixing up herself. We see Ghostface, like his feet, they step down from the toilet and you see them wearing the boots and some black pants. Now, one thing that's always been pointed out to me, at the fountain, you see, it's so blatant, but of course nobody knew to look for this thing back in the 90s. But you see Stu and Billy are wearing the same boots. And that's dead giveaway.
Oh, really?
Yeah. You see what I mean? If you look up the fountain picture and they're sitting there, you see they're wearing the same black boots. And so, dead giveaway right there. This movie has so much rewatch value. God, there's so much you can pick up. But,
oh, yeah, absolutely.
But in the bathroom scene that I'm talking about, Ghostface is wearing black pants, black boots, and they charge at Sydney. The thing is, they don't have a knife. This is the one time I think we see Ghostface attack without a knife, which is very weird. And she's able to get out of the whole scenario. But we end up seeing Billy and Stu again. Stu is wearing like khaki pants, and I believe Billy was like wearing some blue jeans. It's like, okay, realistically, no way they could have done that, because obviously they don't even change their shoes. Where are they gonna find the time to, you know, change like pants and stuff as well? I have a theory, and I saw it on something else as well, that it was actually the prankster or whatever, because there was somebody running around in a Ghostface mask after the murder.
Yeah.
So I have a feeling, and I feel like a few people definitely believe it, that was probably the prankster pranking Sydney as well. Or at least there might have been multiple pranksters.
That could make yeah. Yeah, I mean it could make sense. It's just a weird, convoluted thing for like the prankster to be like, I'm gonna sit in this bathroom and wait for her to go into this bathroom, and then
I mean, it is.
well, I guess it would also be convoluted the other way around too. So
Exactly.
I guess either way.
Yeah, so it's like either way, it's definitely like, well, why are you there, and how do you know she's coming out, and why do you know she's all the way in the last stall?
Yeah.
You know, it's a bunch.
Yeah.
You know, but suspension of, you know,
I feel like that'd be some shit Stu would do. Would just like forget his knife. And I feel like Stu would absolutely do that.
Yeah. No. You're right. I could definitely see that. Another iconic thing Scream did was introduce the rules. Do you remember all the rules? I'm gonna go over the rules of each movie whenever we talk about them.
Well, it's like no drinking, no sex, and never say "I'll be right back."
Those are the only 3 rules that are talked about in this movie. I don't even know where these rules really came from. I know it's based off of like Judeo-Christian values, you know, no premarital sex, you know, of course, drinking, drugs, you know, you're not allowed to do those types of things. But the "I'll be right back" thing, I feel like that was just a one by the film industry itself.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it was implemented.
Yeah, I think that's more so like a joke.
Yeah, because you always see like that big like jockey character or somebody that you could definitely see hold their own. They're just like, yeah, you know, I'll be right back, and then they just fucking get immediately murdered in like the next scene, and then they just never come back. So
I think the rules are just kind of like just horror tropes. I think like Randy uses Halloween as an example, and all the rules he says from Halloween are literally like things that happen that like 2 characters have sex, and then literally he says I'll be right back to go get a beer, and then he gets a drink. So literally all 3 of those happen in Halloween in like 2 scenes, and then he dies the next one.
Yeah, fuck. No, I didn't even think about that. Yeah. And then of course you got Halloween playing like in the 3rd act and stuff. It's like,
yeah, on the TV.
Yeah.
Which I also love that. I love that how they tie Halloween into it. Just because I love Halloween, and also like there's like something where like I think Laurie gets jump scared in the movie, and they play the synth like ba-dun, and then like you can hear it through the TV, and like City gets jump scared from it too. Like I just think it's like funny that like there's like this back and forth between each movie.
Yeah, I kind of love when that type of parallel happens, and then of course we have the meta parallel with Jamie telling Jamie to you know, turn around. I've always loved that so much. And it's like, God, man, Jamie Kennedy. I love Randy. I think Randy is definitely one of my favorite characters. Of course, Sydney is probably number 1. I think Randy might be like 2 or 3. He's really up there. He's the fucking 90s.
Randy's definitely up there.
Yeah, he's the 90s video store guy. And thing is, I always wanted to be that. I don't know if I ever told you that, but I always wanted to work at a video store, because my uncle worked at one, and I would chill with him all the time and just get free snacks. And I think it was like movie gallery. Yeah, it was a movie gallery. Yeah, fuck. Dude, so it wasn't like Blockbuster or anything, but fucking movie gallery.
They need to bring back like video stores. This is completely off topic, but they need to bring back like video stores. Like record stores are like now like starting to become more of like a thing again.
Vinyls,
so
yeah.
You need to like start like bringing back the video store. I mean, like companies like film archive companies are doing really good, like bringing back old movies, and those Blu-ray sales and DVD sales are doing really good. So I think it's time. I think it's time to start rolling back the video industry. But that's just my opinion. That's completely off topic.
No, 100%. But I am going to piggyback off that. And I saw this talked about on YouTube before as well. And I feel like there might be a comeback eventually, or at least there's going to be a bigger crave for physical media. You know, I don't buy DVDs anymore. Absolutely. I rarely do now. Only if it's like super special edition stuff. Like maybe I'll get my hands on it, but it's an expensive hobby, and I already have enough expensive hobbies as it is. But I saw where like streaming platforms, I can't remember with what it was exactly, but they were. It's happening now. Currently, they're completely getting rid of like shows and movies, and you won't see them streamed again. And now it's like, well,
Yeah.
fuck. If you really like that, you're never going to see it again unless you have a physical media now.
Yeah, or unless you pirate it.
Exactly. So like now going forward, like that's going to be the only way. And I think people are going to start to see the value of physical media. That definitely shifted in perspective for me because I'm like, shit, a lot of things I really like, if they just get rid of it one day, I have no way to watch this again. And that sucks.
Yeah, man. Like if I had the money, I'd absolutely go out and buy that physical media because I think physical media should absolutely stay alive.
Especially nowadays when they're getting way better with like cover arts and stuff. Like,
Oh, yeah.
man, fucking hell.
I saw one for Army of Darkness, and it was the greatest fucking cover I've ever seen in my entire life. It was like a steel cover of Army of Darkness, and it's like him fighting skeletons with the castle in the background. If anyone wants it, it's at Best Buy,
Oh,
but
nice.
it's fucking sick.
Yeah, I love how they're doing that now. They're not just printing out the same old cover. Each one, like special releases, or oh, if something's like now on Blu-ray or whatever anniversary or something, you're getting these different cover arts. And Walmart has a really good job of doing that as well. They always come out with different covers. And then you got people online on Instagram. There's somebody I follow on Instagram who does
They make their
custom
own cover, the
VHS.
custom ones, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, those are fucking sick. I love those.
the covers look amazing. Like, holy shit. I saw one
Yeah, they do.
earlier for the 2013 Evil Dead, and it looked awesome. And I was like, man, I would probably buy these. Like, these look so good. The art alone, VHS art is, I think, probably my favorite. Like, of the medias.
Yeah, I have no idea why VHS like covers look so good. I don't know, they just look better than everything else. There's not really like an explanation to it. It's just like seeing it and you're like, damn, like this shit just looks good.
There's just something about it. I don't know. I think it's better than game cases, other movie cases, CDs. Like,
Oh, yeah.
I don't know why. I just think there's just something about it. It looks incredible.
Yeah, I think it's just a nice cardboard you got with it too. But yeah, we should probably get back on track.
Yeah, I was gonna say we're going so off tangent, and this is gonna be like such a thing.
Yeah.
But what do you call it? I think it's mainly because it's Scream 1, and we're not going through the whole thing. But all right, last thing
Yeah.
to end off on Scream, or at least Scream 1. Favorite kill. What is your favorite kill in the movie?
My favorite kill. This is gonna be a weird one. It was gonna be the principal's death with Henry Winkler. More so because I like. This let me explain.
Okay.
I think the build up in that scene is like so funny, and I think it's like really effective, and it's like one of those things where the meta kind of like plays into it, where it's like, oh, he's right there, no, he's not, and then like there's their Nightmare on Elm Street reference with the janitor, and he's just wearing the Freddy Krueger outfit.
Wait.
Yeah, I just think it's like a funny scene,
the
and then he
janitor?
like just like, yeah, the janitor, he's like mopping the floor.
Do you not know who the janitor is?
It's Wes Craven.
Okay, the fact you're only like, yeah, the janitor,
Yeah.
he just looks like Freddy. It's like, wait, hold on, wait. I've never heard somebody just call him the janitor. Everyone's like, yeah, Wes Craven right there dressed as like Freddy. I was gonna say, wait a minute, John, did you not know that?
And also, Henry Winkler is an alumni from my school, so
Like,
that also helps too. So those are my like 3 reasons.
oh god, my favorite. I feel like it's very basic. My favorite kill was Casey. All of that was just incredibly well done. It's super iconic. I think there's nothing that can beat it. The Henry Winkler one is not the one I expected from you. That is so funny.
I really like the build up to it. I think the build up is like really funny, and I think it's just like an effective scene, and it's also like the scene like right before he's like, I'm gonna fucking kill you kids, I'm gonna gut you like a fish, and then it's like it's just so funny, and then like he starts wearing the ghost face mask, he's like jumping around, and then like they do like the fake jump scares. I just think it's like I just like the build up to it.
No, that's realistic as fuck. Because if like when I'm alone, or at least when I think I'm alone, I'm definitely doing dumb shit like that.
Yeah.
I'm either saying dumb shit, making some weird sounds, or I'm definitely doing some questionable like movement or something for no particular reason. And the fact that we see the principal Henry Winkler is just like us, I'm like, all right, I dig it.
It's not like the greatest kill, because like I think he just gets his like throat slit, or I think it just cuts.
Yeah, he
but
just
I mean,
gets
like,
stabbed a
it's-
few
I just like
times,
the build up to it.
I
just like the build up. I think it's funny.
I wish we got to see his body. I wish they did that because of course later in the movie in the third act they're like, oh yeah, he's strung up from like the fucking goalpost or whatever.
The goalpost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, I want to see that, man. Like, why didn't we get a dead Henry Winkler? That would have been awesome. You know, like, was it just like Casey's, which I'm gonna assume that's exactly what it was. But you know, I want to know.
It's probably something like that.
Yeah, it's like, was it any different? Like, I want to know. I love where he just has his hands up, and he just like, just spreads his arms, and the cloak just like drapes over, and then moves away and revealing his face.
Yeah.
I love that movement. So I was like, I'll give you that. There's definitely credibility to picking that, but it's like just that alone. I really love that part.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so now we're gonna go on to Scream 2.
Scream 2, the musical, for some reason has a musical number in it,
Dude,
which I didn't really remember until.
I hate Scream 2. I'm not gonna lie. I think it's the worst.
I think it's funny because it's like when I was talking to you, I'm like, oh yeah, Scream 2 is not that bad, and I already revisited Scream 2 and 5 for this because those are the ones I haven't seen in a while.
Felt so bad.
And I was watching 2, and I was like, oh, like 2, like it starts off kind of funny. I like the opening, like they got some funny bits and stuff like that. The meta-ness is kind of a little cringe in it because they kind of do what I don't like, which is just like listing off movies, which I kind of hate.
Yeah, they go overboard.
This one is not the worst offender of that. There
No,
are worse offenders in this series.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's just a little cringe, and they do have like some funny meta-ness, but it's not really much. But anyways, I was watching it, I'm like, oh yeah, it starts off kind of funny, and then it just dies. It is so boring to watch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's just such a boring movie.
Yeah, dude. Fucking, like I said, this is like bottom tier for me. Anytime I rewatch the series, I feel like I only watch it because it's like, fuck, I'm watching the series, I might as well. But I really think it's gonna be out of my listing. I feel like my definitive like go-to Scream movies to rewatch are 1 and 4. I think those are perfect follow-ups, like right there. Or I think 4 is the perfect follow-up to 1. 2 and 3 can like fuck off and die. I'd be okay with that.
I don't mind 3.
I mean,
I don't mind
3's
3. I kinda
funny,
like 3.
but it's definitely like, okay,
Yeah.
I'm here watching this just to laugh, not because oh yeah, I really like this Scream movie.
Yeah.
No, this movie's fucking ridiculous, and I'm watching it to
that makes
laugh
sense.
at it.
Oh yeah.
But I will
Yeah.
I will give 2 credit where credit is due. They introduce the Stab franchise, which is the franchise that's based on the killings in Woodsboro, like the in-universe stuff. I love how they do it because what do you call it? The whole movie premiere, that is Marvel Disney opening night.
That's what I said.
Yes. 100%.
That's the exact. I literally wrote my first bullet point for this was average Marvel movie opening scene. Which I thought was so fucking funny. And it's so funny that back then in like this was still late 90s, right? It wasn't early 2000s.
This was 97. Back in 97.
Shit like this in 97 was considered like meta. Like this is so outlandish, this would never happen, but literally 20 years later, this is shit that's happening. This is like an average Marvel movie.
I feel like I really want to know, and I would love for somebody to tweet at me or anything, if they can inform me, anything in the 90s where movie theaters were popping off like this. Because even nowadays, they're still not to this fucking caliber. Except for maybe Star Wars, maybe some Marvel.
Definitely Spider-Man No Way Home. That's the closest one that I can think of.
Okay, yeah. No. Yeah, you're right. But
Spider-Man No Way Home was absolutely this caliber. But other than that, like, maybe Endgame. Some Endgame theaters were pretty nuts, but...
I mean, I know they're nuts, but I meant to this extent where, one, that place was fucking booming. Nobody was, like, sitting in their seats.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone was dressed up. And the movie theater was giving out free merch. A whole ass costume.
Some free merch, yeah.
A whole costume. I would kill to go to a fucking Scream premiere and they give me a whole ass costume to wear during the movie.
I know when I usually go to see like early screenings for stuff, like our goal is to get a shirt for that movie. That's like the main reason why we go to early screenings.
Oh wait, they like give out shirts and shit like that?
I've only gotten 2 shirts. One of them was for The Northman, which is kind of a weird movie to get a shirt from. And the other one was fucking Cocaine Bear.
Wait, what?
I got some, I've gotten some other stuff. I got, when I went to go see Smile, I got a poster and they gave me a fucking like laptop webcam cover, which was weird. And then Triangle of Sadness gave me a vomit bag, which was kind of funny
What the fuck? I never heard any of this. That's
because
insane.
it plays into that movie.
Oh god, that's
Yeah, I had it taped up on my door.
that is honestly hilarious. Like, God, man, more movies should start giving out stuff. Like, God, or just getting
Definitely.
more merch at movie theaters. I know it's hard because of rights and licensing and all that stuff, but man, it needs to happen. There's a market there for these things, and
Yeah.
I mean, we already know. We worked at a movie theater. Very little we would get merch for movies, and it's because we worked on Universal property. So yeah, there were times we couldn't get
Yeah.
anything at all because of that whole, I guess, conflict of interest, I guess you could say. But man, whenever the most recent Scream movie came out, and I saw the leaks of what was coming in, oh man, I was ready with my card and with my connections back at the theater. Be like, hey, set this aside. I'm gonna go pick this up, like 100%. I got a Ghostface tub. It is incredible. It looks beautiful, and I know there's people that are jealous that who were there for the original release back in '96. They were like, man, if only we had stuff like that. Because watching the second movie, like shit. I wish movie theaters did this fucking thing, man. That would be sick.
Yeah.
And like now it's like, okay, the closest we come.
They also
hey,
gave everyone fucking knives too.
yeah, the little I would hope they're fake because you never fucking know.
Oh yeah, they were absolutely fake, but I think it was so funny. And then also the movie theater employee turns on the UV light, and everyone just starts like pointing at each other while the UV light is on. Shit's fucking crazy.
Yeah, and honestly, I think it's funny, and I think it's only funny because after the Will Smith thing, that Jada Pinkett Smith is.
Wait, was that Jaden Smith? Or Jada Smith?
Yeah,
Jaden
no,
Smith?
not Jaden. No,
Jaden Smith.
Jada Pinkett Smith. Yeah, his wife, Will Smith's
That
wife.
was her. I did not know that.
Yeah,
I did not know that was her in that.
Yeah, dude.
So fucking funny.
But and I might have forgotten, but what was the reason they were killed? Honestly, it might have slipped on my
It was
mind.
stupid. I even kind of wrote this as a note. So like the reason why the sorority girl and them two get killed is because one of them has like the same first and last name as people who were killed in Scream 1,
Oh,
which is kind of
fuck.
stupid
Yeah, okay.
because like it never comes back around.
yeah, no.
Because them three die and then Randy dies next. So it's like,
it didn't
well-
uphold that rule. It just set into place.
yeah, exactly. So it was kind of like them just killing random people.
Okay, because I was always wondering that. I'm like, all right, Casey Becker, I understand why she dies because she dumped Stu. I'm pretty sure wanted revenge. And of course, they killed the boyfriend as well. Plus, Casey sits next to Sydney in class. So it's kind of like a premeditated, like, mind fuck in a way.
Yeah.
You know, like, oh, this is real. Like, it's close to home. And then next thing you know, it is, like, home for her. I don't remember her name. I think it was Maureen or something like that. And
Yeah, it was Maureen something. And I know the other one had like Stevens in the last name.
yeah, so I was like, what the hell? What do they have to do with anything? And then finding out who the killers are. Yeah, so we have what, Mickey and Billy's mom, Mrs. Loomis.
Yeah. This movie has the sexiest Ghostface. Mickey is the sexiest Ghostface. There's no argument. He is very sexy.
All right, hold on. Wait, you're going to have to clarify on this, my guy. What? Would you care to elaborate?
I'd be okay. If we're gonna compare the attractiveness to from every single Ghostface, Mickey is definitely number one. The guy, he's just a sexy man. I mean, like, there's nothing more to say to it.
I think his name is Timothy, right? Isn't that the actor?
Is that his name? Yeah. He's a good-looking man. I mean, like, whatever. There's nothing more to say. So he wins the competition as sexiest Ghostface. So I guess that's how this movie has going for it.
Like, honestly, that's not what I expected. But I mean, hey, you pop off, man. Yeah, his name is Timothy. Yeah, was he a Mandalorian? I think he was a Mandalorian. He was the hitman.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he runs the town. He was wearing the Boba Fett suit. Remember?
Yeah, he
And
was the
then
one that
Mando was
stole
like,
it.
I'm gonna need that suit.
This was a weird one. Like the motives. That's another thing that's big for me. Is the motives. The motives make or break
Yeah.
the killers for me in these movies. And I feel like this is definitely a bit of the weaker ones. I don't know, because I mean, Mickey was just like an obsessive, serial killer. He was just a crazy fucking guy
Yeah.
that was into the murders. And then you got Mrs. Loomis, which I can kind of understand. But how she sneaks around and nobody notices her is what's baffling to me.
What I don't understand is like in the first movie when Billy talks about her, he makes it sound like that like she has no contact with him whatsoever. And I get she'd be mad that he dies, but like
I thought that too.
why would she be mad enough to go and kill Sydney? Because it seems like they have no relationship. Because even in one, they had that conversation where it's like, "Oh well, my mom's like, you need to get over your mom. I got over my mom." So like, makes it sound like she's dead to him. So for her to like come to this movie, it was kind of a little weird.
And another thing, that there was an extreme level of dedication because I think what she told Gail she lost 70 pounds and had plastic surgery. So it's like she was committed. She was committed to infiltrate this fucking school and get as close as possible to Sydney. And I don't get why. Like it's like you abandon your kid. Like it's your fault. You could have prevented all this, you know.
A problem
At least mostly.
I have with the movie is that the killers in Sydney just seem so. This is gonna sound weird. They just seem so far away from like everything that's going on. Like Sydney isn't really attacked until like the end of the movie, and like the killers, like the mom is just like a reporter that shows up every once in a while to like annoy Gail, and Mickey, that's his name, right? Mickey.
Mm-hmm.
He's just like there every once in a while. He's just like he kind of just shows up. He's not. They're not like relevant people. He doesn't.
He
show up
disappears.
after, like random. Yeah, once
he
the
fucking
sorority chick
disappears.
dies, he's gone. He doesn't show up, and it's kind of like, well, these people have no involvement in the movie. So when they show up at the end, like, oh, I'm the killer. Well, it's like, well, yeah, you weren't here all movie. So like,
Yeah, so it's like it was either kind of obvious or you were just written out of the movie and we forgot about you. Because it's actually after the lunch scene, we don't see him anymore.
Nope,
He's
not at
doing
all.
his
Yeah.
dancing and hyping up fucking the guy. I don't even remember his name.
Derek.
He's hyping up
Yeah.
Derek and singing this fucking shit and putting on a whole ass show tunes, and he's never seen again. And it's like, this is your killer? This is the guy that disappeared like halfway in the movie? A little more than halfway in the movie? It's like, what? Like that's so weird.
I like when Derek's like hanging on that moon thing, and then Mickey like reveals himself, and he's like, "Oh yeah, Derek, just untie yourself. You know, you were like a part of this." I kind of like that because it kind of like fucks with like Sydney in some way.
Oh,
and he just shoots him. I kind of like that little like, "Oh yeah, you helped me, right? There's always two," and it's I kind of like that little moment there.
I think that was the best mindfuck that he did because Sydney was immediately like backing away, like, oh shit, not again, triggering some PTSD. And that's another thing. I'm gonna give credit where credit's due in this one. I love how they do depict that she does have PTSD with her doing the theater and like the fucking masks are like slowly like morphing into a bit of the shape of the ghost face mask. It's like that is top tier.
Yeah.
That was good. And I really wish they would play on that a bit more. And I'll talk about that in 3, but I think there was definitely some missed opportunity in 3 that they could have tapped on it a little bit more. I mean, of course, like over time, I understand, you know, she could kind of get past the PTSD, but PTSD is, well, PTSD, I feel like it doesn't just go away, you know, it just gets a bit more dormant. But, yeah, so, no, that part, that was good. Another good fake out was with Gail. Whenever Gail walks out of the thing, and then like for a split
and
second,
she's like,
nothing's
Gail?
happening.
And then like, no,
Mrs. Loomis, Billy's mother.
I think it's so funny that like this random woman has Gail at gunpoint, and that Sydney's like, Miss Loomis. I think it's so funny that she recognizes her immediately, and Gail's like, the fuck? I kind of like that little moment. I think there's like solid little moments in this movie, and like the first act is pretty good, but I don't think this movie is like bad. There's nothing like really bad in it. There's just nothing really good in it either. So it just kind of ends up being a little bit boring, except for like
mid.
some parts. Yeah, exactly. It's not like I'm not like, oh, like fuck Scream 2, like, and like I'm just kind of like I probably won't watch this movie again because it's just very boring.
No, not even. And what do you call it? Randy dies in this one, man. I was not thrilled about that. Especially not the way he went out. Not at all. I feel like they could have been more creative.
Yeah, and no one really reacted to his death either. Like people were like, "Oh no, Randy died," and then oh well, this is kind of like there's like no mention of it at the end.
No. There was that one guy, the Gale's cameraman. He was like, "Nope, that guy fucking died. Your last guy died. I'm taking a cab. I'm getting the fuck out of here."
I also love that character. I love that character so much. He is so fucking funny. He's definitely the best part of that whole movie.
In the Scream universe, I hope he's still alive.
Nothing happened to him.
I know, but I meant in general.
He should have been in 3. He should have been one of the camera operators.
You just see him like somewhere else. They just bump into him. And it's like, hey, what are you doing now? Oh, yo, I'm a cameraman for like sports.
Yeah.
It's like I moved on. I moved up. I got a little production company. I got some gigs. I got some guys. Yeah, my life is doing fine ever since I left you guys. I was hoping they would.
He should be the next legacy character in like 7. He should be the legacy character, camera operator from Scream 2.
Oh yeah, we get more of Cotton in this movie as well. Cotton Weird, he finally becomes like a main character. Not a main character, but he becomes a real character. And man, dude, he was creepy. I think they were definitely trying to make everyone a bit of a red herring in this one. Like they upped it up a bit, because I think they knew they had, that they had to do that. It's like, yeah, we got to keep people guessing. We put ourselves in this position. Now we got to keep it going. Cotton, but I understand, but he acts so much like a killer. And it's like, dude, you're an innocent man. I feel bad for you. You got put away and stuff. Like, I should be sympathetic towards you. But it's like, I would also not be surprised if you were like, you know what? I already got labeled a murderer. I might as well just go kill the person who like ruined my life. So sure, that would have been something. It would have been predictable.
I kind of like,
but yeah,
I like him. Like I like his motive. Because like I feel like when you expect someone to be out of jail and stuff like that, you expect them to just be like angry at like the person. But he's just like, I just want to be famous. Like I just want to be on TV, and I kind of like respect that. I'm like, all right, that's different. I mean, like he just wants to be on TV for like 15 minutes, and then that's it.
Another thing, fucking David Arquette, dude, and how they fake like kill Dewey. Again, he's always stabbed in the back, and my thing is like, dude, if you get stabbed in the back, and a lot of times, of course, for like prop reasons, these things are like dead center, and this is probably overthinking it, but okay, if it's dead center in the middle of your back, I'm assuming your spine, you are dead or paralyzed. Like there's no other way around it. And he does have the limp. I'll give him that. They maintain that limp throughout all the movies. But another cool death that actually happened, since his was kind of a fake out, was the cop. Earlier,
that's what I was gonna say. That was my favorite kill. You talking about the one in the car crash, right?
Yeah, with the pole going through his head, like the twitchiness and all that. That was like some live leak shit, man. I've seen stuff like that.
And you also
before.
like really see it too.
Oh yeah, you see like the brain matter.
Yeah, they did a good job with the makeup on that, because that is my favorite kill. That's what I wrote down. So I'm glad you just brought it up.
Yeah, because that was one of my keynotes right here. Do you remember the rules of this one?
Is this gonna be like our new game where I have to guess the rules?
I mean, you can. I can always see. Because you went through a rewatch marathon. I kind of just went through skimming and researching.
Fuck, what were the rules? I don't remember, honestly. I don't remember the rules for the sequel.
Okay, so as stated by Randy, the body count is always bigger. The death scenes have to be more elaborate, more blood, more gore.
Your audience just expects it. That's what he says.
Yeah, and there's also this one, this was one of the things I was referring to earlier, where it kind of goes into this thing where they tell you about the scene and stuff. I'll read you exactly what it says. It says, Randy starts to describe the third rule. If you want your films to become a successful franchise, never, ever, and then it stops.
And
it
then
says,
it gets
before
cut
being before being interrupted by Dewey. However, the film's original teaser trailer featured an extended version of the rules scene, which reveals the third rule was supposed to be never, ever, under any circumstances, assume the killer is dead. That should be a no-brainer to us. We're 2 movies in. The killer always got up. And I got that from the Scream Wiki.
Thank you, Scream Wiki.
It's like, I know the rules. I never would have known that one. I was still really young. I was like 1 year old, maybe not even, when this movie came out.
Yeah.
All right, so your favorite kill, you said that one was the cop, right?
Yeah.
Okay. That one wasn't mine. That was just a kill I really wanted to talk about.
What was yours?
Mine was actually Maureen. I love that whole theater scene, man. All of that was mad cool.
Yeah, that is pretty cool.
It was mainly the aesthetic.
I like how they use the setting too to like amp it up. You know, something another movie doesn't do.
What do you call it? I don't think I talked about the. Did I talk about the IMDb and the Rotten Tomato score in this one? I don't think I did. Not yet.
No, you didn't. Should I take a guess?
Yeah, go ahead. All right, IMDb first.
IMDb. I'm gonna say 5.4 if I were to take a guess.
6.3.
I was somewhat close. I'm 0.9 off.
Yeah, I don't even get why it's that high. But yeah. All right, so Rotten Tomatoes critic score.
I'm gonna guess it's like a 64, 68 or something like that.
Okay, it is 82%.
What? It's that high? What? There's no way this should be that high.
It is higher than Scream 1 by 6 points. I don't get it.
That's crazy.
I don't get it.
The critics
I
are
don't know.
wrong. The critics are wrong. Don't listen to the
Yeah.
critics.
All right, so audience score. What do you think?
Oh god, this is like this could be anything because like the Rotten Tomatoes audience score community is on something. So
Normally, yeah.
I don't know, I'll say 74, I guess.
58%.
What? Oh my god, that's holy wow, that is a huge discrepancy.
I think that is accurate because there are
I think-
plenty of people who love it and there's plenty of us who hate it. And I say us, meaning myself.
Yeah.
Is like, yeah, I'm not going to just rope you in and generalize everything. I don't like this movie. Not at all.
I think it's whatever. It actually got moved to bottom 2 of my ranking. I guess I'll spoil part of my ranking, but yeah, it got moved down. So
I think it is bottom 2 in my ranking. I think we might be on the same page there, possibly. It does have some cool things. Like I said, I gave credit what credit's due. I think this is the best Sydney's ever looked. I love her hair in this one. Nev Campbell is a total babe in this one. I don't know, the medium length hair. Courtney Cox actually looks cute as well, but they have like the same haircut, which is like weird.
yeah, they do.
Like,
and the same like
get
coloring
that.
too.
Yeah, like almost identical. I think she has a bit of a more, I think like a red or something like that. There's some sort of like hint of color in there. And what do you call it? And this is another thing. Before we move on, I have to talk about this because I was writing down some notes and the end of the movie was playing. And I was like, what the fuck? What is going on? I had to rewind. At the very end, Sydney walks off. I'm going to assume helicopter shot, maybe, because of how far it's going away. Do you know what I'm talking about? Okay.
Yeah.
Where the fuck is she walking?
To her dorm.
She's walking to a football field.
She's
She is literally walking in the direction of a football field.
She's going to her room. Her room's across the football field. She moved to the bleachers.
She's just like, fuck this. I'm gonna go off and do my own thing. Yeah, man, that's Scream 2. I know we're going through
Scream
these,
2.
but we are talking a lot.
I'm surprised how quickly we got through 2. I was expecting to go through 2 a little bit longer, but I
Did you
guess
have
maybe they're thinking
more
the same
notes?
thing. No, I didn't actually. No, I hit everything basically. Yeah.
I actually had one. I do like the arc here, and this goes back to what you're saying with Cotton.
Oh,
I
yeah.
like how he was the one to save the day.
Yeah, so do I.
It was a good arc and some good development, especially with him being super confrontational in the beginning.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah. And of course, Sydney pays him back, giving him his fame at the end of the movie as well. And then she walks off to the fucking bleachers. But yeah, I really like that. They did a good job with his character there.
And I like how it goes a little bit further into Scream 3. Which, speaking of Scream 3,
Yeah, speaking of that one, this is going to be like towards the end of the podcast now. Scream 3. Holy shit! I actually have I have one whole page of notes. Okay, I thought I had two.
what the hell?
There's plenty of stuff I want to cover.
This one's considered the worst of the original 3, right? Like, isn't it among Scream
Yeah.
fans? Like, why? I don't get it. Like, I think it's fun.
Are
like,
you sure? Are you
I
sure
think-
you
I
don't
just
get
think-
it?
I think it's fun. Like, I like I enjoy myself watching it. I don't know. Like, and I like.
I did
think,
too.
I think Gale makes sense in this movie. I actually think this is like one of the like good movies that continues Gale, at least from what I remember. I do have an issue with Dewey being like a studio like ambassador or whatever he was. I just don't think it makes much sense. I don't think he would support making a stab movie at all. So I thought it was a little weird.
Yeah,
but
I could see that.
I think I mean, I think Sydney's really good in this. I think her being like a hotline person was like really good.
Yeah.
I think that makes perfect sense for her character.
All right, so some of the points we're going to talk about, definitely you named. Scream 3 came out in 2000, man. The fucking millennia. Y2K.
I was born that year. I
Wait,
was
were
born
you
the year
really?
this movie came out. Yeah, that must be
Oh
why I
my
like this movie so much.
gosh.
Well, I don't like it so much, but
But it's fun. It's
I think it's
definitely
fun.
2000s.
Yeah, I have a good time.
What do you call it? Okay. IMDb score. Take a guess.
For this one,
What you got?
what was Scream 2's?
Scream
it was
2
like
was
a
6.3.
6.3, right?
Yep.
I'm gonna say this one's like a 4.5 or something like that.
5.6.
I'm always getting
Not too shabby.
so close.
It's like
was
you're
closer to
you're in the
yellow,
right ballpark. Yeah. Rotten Tomatoes critic score
I'm gonna guess 55. That's like a solid guess.
41.
Wow, what? Why did they like Scream 2 so much?
I don't know, but this movie is deeply unlike.
I don't get it. I think it's fun. Like they're watching a Scream movie. Like, I mean, like I think Scream 2 like takes itself a little bit too seriously, and I don't think it's a like super tongue in cheek. In this movie, I feel like it makes up for it so much. I think this movie is so fucking goofy. I love it. Like I don't know. I just think it's a fun movie. I really like the setting of it. I think it's fun. I love the scene where she's like, it's like kind of mirroring the first scene, not the first scene, the scene from the first movie where she's running through her house and she opens up her bedroom door.
All right. Okay, yeah. We'll get to that in a minute. All right. Calm down. All right. So, audience score. What do you think this is?
Okay. I'll say 50.
30%.
What? I don't get it. I don't get it.
Dude, I'm telling you, people do not like this movie. And I remember when we were first starting to become friends, we were talking about it. And I think I rewatched the series. And you were like, it was like, you like Scream 3? Scream 3 fucking blows. Like, you were shitting on it. I was like, dude, I kind of like Scream 3.
I did?
It's like,
I don't
what
think...
do you mean? Yeah, you kind of had me discouraged a little bit. No, you did, 100%.
I think that was someone else because I literally watched Scream 3 for the first time this year. I literally watched it for the first time this year. It must have been a different. It must have been a different movie. I don't remember.
Maybe I'm confusing it with a different movie, but I know, I know we talk about a lot of movies, and I remember talking about this one, and I rewatched it, and I just remember you shitting on it, and in my mind, I'm like, I actually kind of like this one, John. It's like, all right, you don't have to go so hard into it, but okay. I swear it was, but I don't fully remember. I don't know if it was at work or what when we were talking about it, but I was like, damn, hurting my feelings. Okay, it's cool, man. We could talk about something else now. God, my fucking face hurts.
I wonder what movie it was. I don't remember. Like I don't think it was Scream 3.
It's like, I don't know then.
Maybe it was 6.
Maybe it might have been 6.
It might have been 6.
Honestly, wait, it might have been 6. 6 is definitely where we're gonna be in talks.
Oh yeah.
I already know, but we're gonna be going back and forth. It's gonna be fun.
Anyways, Scream 3.
Yeah, Scream 3, 2000s. This movie, I will say, okay, this movie is dumb. It does not make sense. It is definitely, I can see why people don't like it. I know exactly why, but I think it's fun. I think it is a fun watch, but I do admit this is a bad movie. This is a fun bad movie for me.
I think it's just fun. I don't think it's bad. I just think I think it's a fun movie. I mean, like, I guess, like, if you want to break it down to its core, yeah, it's bad. But I mean, like, isn't every other Scream movie besides the first one? If you really want to, like, break it down like what makes sense, all of them are going to be bad. So I mean, like, if this one is the most fun and it doesn't make sense, fuck it. Like, who cares? It doesn't take itself seriously.
I feel like I definitely turn my brain off. Or not really. I think I just laugh at it and I'm like, no, it's funny. Like, it's bearable. It's funny because the voice changer, holy shit, that makes no fucking sense at all. The motive, I hate the motive of the killer. I had a hiccup. Oops.
Yeah, motive's pretty stupid.
Yeah, the motive is so bad. It undermines the first one. It really shouldn't have done that. And I think that's why a lot of people really fucking hate it. Like Billy and Stu, they had great motives. They were good killers. They were good amateur killers. They were good villains. And to completely undermine that with this guy that's like, actually, I'm a director. I direct things.
Actually, I'm an auteur.
Yeah. So it's like, all right, this fucking guy, like this is the guy. This is the mastermind behind everything. Really, like I understand.
I also respect that there's only one killer. I kind of like that. Like the twist.
He
of
is
it
the
is
only
that,
one.
Yeah, there's only one killer. Yeah, I respect that. I kind of wish other ones would just do like one every once in a while instead of always doing two.
I'm gonna call it 7. 7's gonna have 1. I'm gonna call it.
No, 7's gonna have like 5. Knowing 6, there's gonna be like 5 screamers.
God, I hope not. Because man, you better have a really good fucking motive for each and every one of those guys.
They just pay me. I was on Craigslist and like somebody said like I'll pay you $1,000 a night. I'll be like fuck it.
There's gonna be a dude just eating a banana, just like sitting down in a Ghostface like outfit, and oh, it's the killer. He's like, nah, man, I was paid to stay. Like, just stand here, look menacing.
I'm on my 30 right now. I'm on my 30. I need to call my mom.
On my 30.
Leave me alone.
Oh god, he's like, I'm actually just waiting on my Uber. I already finished my shift. Like, I got nothing.
I lost my backpack with my clothes in it.
I lost my change of clothes.
Oh my god.
Full on Spider-Man moment. He just leaves his shit around in the city, and it's like, fuck, I forgot where I put it. It's like, shit.
I hope they do this for 7. I think this is a solid idea.
Hey, set it back in New York, and he'd be like, bro, I literally parked my bike here. It had my bag. It had my clothes. Some fucking hobo took my shit. Like, I have to wait for an Uber because trying to get a fucking taxi out here is just mind-boggling.
My Uber rating's low, so no one's saying yes.
No. And it's like, I have a mask, like, but they don't want me to wear it, but I have to wear a mask inside. That's how you will really see New York. And I know that was a criticism I think you had, and it opened up my eyes a bit. Like, yeah, they did not utilize New York enough. This would be New York all over it. So many people would be relating to this, which I can.
We'll talk about that when we talk about Scream 6.
Yeah, but I'm already going to talk about this now. I was recently in New York for a couple of hours, just passing by, checking out Times Square. Holy shit. So much fucking walking around. We did over 10,000 steps.
Yeah.
Walking around.
Yeah,
and
New York is humongo.
Dude, it's set to Wombo, and holy shit. There's so much. And then I never really took public transportation. Trying to figure out the fucking buses was a nightmare. Jesus Christ. I swear we almost didn't make it home. No, we didn't. We thought about it, but then we know how dangerous it's getting, all that other stuff. It's like, all right, man, I'm not trying to have a Scream 6 moment down there either, you know? It's like, I don't want any of that. So it's like, man, if they did all of that in 7, it's like, dude, I get it. I was a New Yorker for a couple hours, and holy shit, I understand, man. All right, let's get back into Scream 3. We derailed so hard. We moved. We're in California now. Sid is in California, and she's a crisis.
They were in California before. They were in Woodsboro, California. Yeah, they're just in Hollywood now.
Yeah, Hollywood. That's what I mean. I'm thinking of fucking Hollywood. All right, I'm one of those fucking like touristy brains. Oh, if I see California, Hollywood. That's what it is. That's the state. It's like California is Hollywood, Hollywood's California. That's it. Same fucking thing. What do you call it? Sid is a crisis counselor. I love that. That is a great arc that she went on to help other people, which I feel like you don't really see. But I feel like that's a Wes Craven move.
Yeah.
Because Nancy from Nightmare on Elm Street did the same thing. She was helping people in Dream Warriors and Nightmare on Elm Street 3. She was helping people like with that had sleep I guess I don't know,
apnea
diagnosis or something.
Or
sleep apnea. Yeah.
something like that, some sleep thing.
Yeah, something like that. People weren't getting sleep, and she was there to help. I feel like that's a Wes Craven move. I really appreciate that. That is awesome.
Even though I think the movie is like dumb fun, I think the gas explosion is like too stupid for me. It's like,
oh yeah,
so it's like, so what the fuck? Like, it's like that ridiculous.
There's so much that goes into it just to make that scene happen. He could read most of the letter. Like, he couldn't read, like, the next, 2 or 3 words. It's like, are you serious? Like, it seems like you were doing fine a minute ago. What changed?
I do like the set pieces in this. Like I was saying, I was talking about earlier, how it mirrors the first one, with her going to a bedroom, and it just turns out to be, like, scaffolding, and she's, like hanging. I'm like, oh, that's cool.
Chase scene in the movie. Best one.
Yeah, absolutely. I also like the one where she's hiding in the dressing room and there's like a bunch of Ghostface costumes just hanging up, and then like it's kind of like a little creepy because you're like, oh, it was one of them like actually moving. It's kind of like when you see like a mannequin, it's kind of like, oh, it's a mannequin moving. That's kind of like what you're looking at.
Yeah.
So I like that. I just think the set pieces are kind of cool in this. That like takes advantage, at least a little bit of like the Hollywood setting.
No, yeah, they definitely got creative, and going back to what you said about the set pieces, like where they remake Stu's house, that is great, and to me, that is a moment that could have been a serious, hard-hitting moment, like probably nearly emotional, honestly, if they really wanted to go that route. That could have been a moment where her PTSD kind of comes back, maybe a little like gripping her chest, like a little tightness of breath or something, seeing all of that, being in the kitchen where everything happened, because I would imagine she has not stepped foot anywhere near that fucking house ever since 96.
Yeah.
So I think that would have been a very heavy moment, and trying to see her like calm down, come to terms with that, kind of show there's still a bit of a chink in the armor a little bit. I mean, not like she's overpowered or anything. They do a great job of balancing her out, but just to add some more like the weight to her, that all of this is definitely a bit overbearing. I mean, I would be I'd be losing my mind if I went through something like that, and I'm in a literal like 1-for-1 of one of the worst moments of my life, like right there. Like I would probably have a bit of a mental breakdown and probably like an anxiety attack or something. I feel like that was a missed opportunity. I really want to go to the house. I think they have it as like an Airbnb or something.
Yeah, I think so. I think it is. I know there's another horror house that's on Airbnb too.
We got to do these one day.
Hey, I don't know why I'm blanking on it. It might be the Nightmare on Elm Street house. I know the Halloween house is a dentist's office now.
Wait, what? No fucking way.
So, yeah, the Myers house is a dentist's office. So if you want to go to the dentist in California somewhere, you can go there and get your teeth cleaned.
Wow. It's not what I would have expected, but that's cool.
It might be the Nightmare on Elm Street house, might be an Airbnb, but I could be wrong.
I would love to do that. That one and Stu's house. I would totally do it.
That'd be pretty sick. What do you think of the opening in this with Cotton Eye and his wife?
I thought you were about to say Cotton Eye Joe. Yeah. You just said Cotton Eye, and I'm like, Cotton Eye Joe? Like my brain just autocorrected to that.
Wait. Oh wait, yeah, it's not Cotton Eye. It's fucking just Cotton. I don't know why the fuck I said Cotton Eye.
That's why I was like, wait, what? Cotton Eye? Is yeah, Cotton Weary?
Cotton Eye Weary.
Oh, what do you call it? I thought it was decent for the most part, but it plays into that dumb thing, the whole voices. It definitely makes no fucking sense. Like, it has all the voices. It mimics perfectly, on the other side of the door, all these different range of emotion and all that. Even nowadays with this AI, like we're only now starting to get that in 2023, where this is, well, not exactly possible. Not in person. So not even to that extent. We don't have that. But it's like, dude, that's so far removed. That's not happening for like another, as fast as it's evolving, maybe another year, a year or two, we'll probably be there, and then it would make sense. But yeah, opening, definitely not one of my favorites. It's meh. It's okay. I don't really care for it. There was quite a few heavy meta moments in this one. I'll give it that. I feel like they definitely knew what they were talking about. They had this scene where the execs were talking about if they should continue the movie or not after Cotton and his wife or girlfriend were killed, because of course it could be looked at as in bad taste. That was actually something they were going through because of the Columbine shooting. Because of that.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, they had a hard time where it's like, okay, should we still come out with it? Because one of the execs were like, won't it look bad? Like, should we stop or no? I feel like people probably wouldn't be happy with it. And then one of the other execs is just like, violence is in now. It's what's in the movies. It's what people like. Like, no, we're going to keep going. So
Yeah.
I see that as a very meta moment because supposedly that's exactly what they were dealing with behind the scenes. But the other one, and this one ties into a bit of the motive. I feel like the motive definitely gets convoluted, especially for one person. Like there was a lot that went into it. But there was another one where they're talking to one of the directors, or I think he was a producer, some type of exec. John Milton. That's the character in the movie. Supposedly he had something to do with Sydney's mom's past in Hollywood that led to everything,
Oh yeah.
Let me go through the whole thing so it actually makes sense. Ronan's upset because Sydney got all the attention and got the mom that he never had. He was just a child that was had in Hollywood and kind of forgotten about. And so he gets pissed. He starts stalking her, getting the footage of her and Cotton together and Billy's dad and sending that to, Mrs. Loomis, destroying his family, setting off the first movie, spiraling down Billy and Stu to become killers. So he's upset about all that, and he blames Hollywood for ruining his mom, which also ruined his relationship and everyone else's lives. Like I said, pretty convoluted, a lot to go through. They do a lot of exposition when it comes to that point, because there's no full way to
definitely
give all that. Like it's exhausting just mentioning all that now just to get a point across. They see that Jim has something to do with it. It goes into this whole meta thing that I believe definitely touches on the Weinstein Bros and the stuff that they had going on. These sex parties with very rapey undertones. So they touch on that. And I think that's fascinating that this actually got into the movie under Weinstein's supervision. And I bet the guy didn't even fucking notice that this was really about him, or at least that moment was definitely about him and all the fucked up shit he was doing. So that's, I think that was a very heavy moment. Like looking back now that everything's come out, back then, probably nobody really thought anything of it. But I mean, who would know better than the people at Dimension and Miramax and stuff like that? Those production companies, they would 100% know these things.
I also, there's like a funny little bit. I think it's when they are thinking about canceling the movie, and the director's just like, I just want to make my rom-com. I just want to make my comedy movie. He's like, I need to make this movie to make my next movie, and like that's what his concern is.
Yeah, I think it's a one for them, one for me type of deal. That thing. If you guys don't know what that is, that's pretty much the studio wants you to do something, so you make the movie for them, but you're also making a deal like, hey, I make this movie for you guys. You guys can help me make this other movie, the one that I really want to make. That's how you get your way up. That's how you get your go up the totem pole a little bit. You got to do what you got to do. And sometimes it could be a really shitty movie that you don't want to do. You got to pay your dues.
I love the mansion at the end. I love how it's just like this labyrinth. I think it's just, it's something
very
like
Scooby-Doo.
unique, and it's a nice little spin. It is extremely, and it plays into kind of how goofy this movie is. But I think it's pretty fun, and I like the one, I forget, someone's being attacked behind a bunch of mirrors, or like a one-way mirrors.
Yeah, that is the chick that's playing Gale, or that's playing Gale in the Stab movie.
The movie
that they're making. Yeah. I can't fully... Jennifer, that's her name.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think she was the funniest character in this movie. Jennifer,
I think she's great.
she was such a diva.
And I like how she kind of like tries to like tag along with Gale to like make her character better. I just think it's like, I don't know, it's a stupid little actor thing.
She's going method acting, man. That's what she's trying to do.
Yeah.
One of my next notes on here. The visions of the mom. I hate that.
Yeah, yeah, it's
I
pretty weird.
fucking hate that. I do not like that at
Yeah,
all, and that's something that will come up later. What I've always liked about Scream, they were always settled in realism, and they were grounded. They were boots to ground. Okay, no supernatural stuff.
yeah. Scream 3 did to the Scream franchise what Advanced Warfare did to Call of Duty. Just made it fucking crazy.
Shit started going everywhere. People start flying and stuff. Like it's all over the place, man. It just doesn't matter anymore. And we get some dope cameos in here, and I feel like this is another thing people probably didn't like. Jay and Silent Bob, and we get a Carrie Fisher cameo.
Oh yeah, Carrie
I
Fisher's
loved
in this. I forgot
both.
about that.
Yeah, man.
I remember when she showed up. I'm like, is that Carrie Fisher? What the fuck is she doing here?
Yeah, dude. It's so random. And I don't know if what she said is true, but I like how they immediately go like, "Aren't you?" And she's like, "No, I just look like her." But then she just has a picture of Carrie Fisher, like as Leia, and it's like, and she was like, "Yeah, I was actually up for the part." But of course, it went to the chick who actually slept with George Lucas. And in my mind, I'm like, hold up, did that actually happen? It's like, wait a minute, did this happen? Oh man, yo, R.I.P. Carrie Fisher, man, what a delight.
Yeah.
Jesus. And dude, speaking of the cameos, have you seen Jay and Silent Bob Strikes Back?
No.
Oh my god, dude, you need to watch that. Because in that movie, they're in Hollywood as well, and Wes Craven is directing a fourth Scream in that movie.
Oh,
And let it be known, Scream was only supposed to be a trilogy, but in that
Yeah.
movie, which I believe came out in the early 2000s, after this, he's there on the Miramax lot, I think, making a Scream like 4. And of course, Scream 4 didn't come out 2011, so it was not going to happen. It's a weird timeline thing. I don't know how accurate it is, because you got the Stab movies, and Jay and Silent Bob are now in Hollywood in the third Scream movie, but in their universe, Scream movie exists, and Wes Craven is directing the fourth one. So
Yeah.
it's a lot of tape right there. That's a whole thing. But man, it was funny as hell. Like you actually see Ghostface. He gets unmasked, and it's a fucking monkey. Like it's so fucking dumb. Like literally, it's a fucking. I think it's an orangutan, if I remember correctly. Even though I did enjoy watching this movie and I think it's fun, I completely understand that people don't like it. It's like I get it.
Yeah.
You don't have to tell me. I know. I know a lot of things that are wrong with this movie. It's just fun. It's funny. And that's another thing. The kills in this movie, I think, were kind of boring.
Yeah, they are.
Like I mean, the one explosion death was it was out there, but it was
Insane.
dumb.
Yeah, I think I just appreciate the set pieces.
I think that's the only real things going for it. It's like, you know what? You guys had some interesting ideas, some good ones, but you just went in other directions with them. But they were there. You had some thoughts.
I do really like the very end of this movie, where like with like the door. It's just a nice little like thing, and I think it wraps up the trilogy nicely.
Like whenever this one ended, and this was supposedly the last one, it's like I could see it. It had a good arc for Sydney, which of course is kind of the main thing.
Yeah.
At this point, it seems like everything's wrapped up. You got Billy's mom's dead. You got Billy. You got Stu dead. Now you got her long lost brother dead. So it's like, okay, who else could really come out of the woodwork to be Ghostface and Killer now? You know? So I think that was supposed to be the ending. I'm glad it didn't end there, because I love 4. I love that one so much.
Yeah, I think we can just go right to favorite kills.
What was yours?
I think I mentioned it earlier. I think it was the dressing room. I like kind of like similar to the
Oh yeah, okay.
why I like the Henry Winkler one. I think it just has a nice like setup and it's pretty tense. I think it's kind of cool, and I like how it kind of starts off with like the script reading.
What do you call it? I think shortly after that scene, another one of my favorite moments that I completely understand was I think her name was Angela. Was it Angela, the short hair one? Angelina?
I think so.
She was one of the actresses. She was stealing props
Yeah.
because she was like, well, you know, the movie's getting shut down, so it's like I kind of want some stuff to either
Yeah.
sell or to remember it by. And I'm like, dude, I would do the same thing if I got featured on a movie. It's like, all right, I don't know if this is ever gonna happen again. I need to take something. I still want to get killed in a horror movie.
That'd be pretty epic.
But yeah, my favorite kill. I didn't have much to choose from. I say Tyson, just because he was fucking disrespectful. I was like, all right, but I feel like I didn't have much to choose from. But that was mine right there. But the story of this one,
Yeah.
I didn't enjoy too much. But it's dumb fun. It's something you can have a few drinks. You can sit with your friends. You can laugh at. I feel like that's all this one's good for. Definitely not the bottom of the list, but not super high up either for me.
I like it. I think it's good. I think it's a good movie, and everyone should watch it.
All right, now, do you remember the rules of this one?
Oh, I don't remember.
Because Randy was in this one. He had a videotape
He is
for some
he is in
fucking
it,
reason.
Which I also think is fucking hilarious that he pre-recorded like a trilogy death tape.
That shows how big brain he was. He was really smart. He's like, yeah, no, I'm going to die the next time an incident happens. I'm dead. So I might as well record.
I remember one of them is no one is safe and the main character can die. It's like something like that.
That's rule 2, technically, in the order that the rules
Okay.
do come up. So the first one is you've got a killer who's going to be superhuman. Stabbing him won't work. Shooting him won't work. Basically, in the third one, you got to cryogenically freeze his head, decapitate him, or blow him up. And I believe that's exactly what Randy talks about, of course, referencing what, Jason X? Yeah, where they're in space and all that shit
Yeah.
happens. Then you got the one, anybody can die, like even the main character. Of course, because they did see this as the trilogy, so there wasn't going to be any other plans for anything else. So it makes sense why they had that one. And then the third one, the past will come back to bite you in the ass. Whatever you think you know about the past, forget it. The past is not at rest. Any sins you think were committed in the past are about to break out and destroy you. But alrighty, guys, that is Scream 1 through 3. Now, my lovely co-host for the episodes of these is John.
That's me.
Yeah, that's this guy. I'm gonna have links to his stuff down below. John, you got any last words?
Eat your veggies. That's it.
Oh my god.
I'll see you next week. It's not like we're recording the next two right after or the next three right after this. Oh my god. I'll see you next week, Lamar. We talk about Scream 4 through 6.
Yeah, I'll call you another time. It is not like it's 11 o'clock at night and we're gonna record more.
Absolutely not.
But of course, I got to give you guys your cookie's fortune, and here we go. Learn to say I don't know and inherit the knowledge of the world. Do with that what you will, ladies and gentlemen. But until next time, be excellent, be kind, subscribe to the podcast.